The use of fodder as a ration for dairy animals have been identified as means of ensuring that there is continuous nutrition over different seasons, hence fodder conservation. The recently held silage making and packaging workshop from the Jamaica Dairy Development Board stressed the importance of fodder conservation strategies for our local dairy farmers. Chief Executive Officer of the entity, Dean Avril, explains.
Today you see the launch of a new method of silage technology, silage packing technology at that. This initiative was conceptualized not too long ago, and it was a collaboration between the Jamaica Dairy Development Board and JDDB. And this initiative allows us now to conserve more fodder, because we realize that that is one of the problems that we need to address in the country. So this is silage packing training. We would all be familiar with methods of conserving fodder, and silage is one method of doing that. Now, silage basically is a fermented product that is preserved because you have reduction of pH by anaerobic bacteria. So basically it is the package of plant material in an environment where there is no oxygen. So because you have that anaerobic fermentation taking place, organic acids are produced, and that conserves the product. So it more or less is a form of preservation. It is just like pickling in fruits and vegetables, where you put things in organic acids, the exact same thing, except we're doing it with grass. Our farmers have long identified that we have a nutrition problem in Jamaica. When the rain starts to fall, we have a lot of grass. As soon as the rains disappear, we don't have enough grass. So basically you have that period between when you have excess and you have none at all that will allow us to conserve. So when we have extra grass or we have extra forage material, we can afford to conserve, and we need to conserve a lot more. When you talk about feeding animals, every animal is not the same. And neither is every genetic group, even within the same species. As you look at the different breeds, they are not the same. So what that basically means is that the way you manage them, the way you feed them, the way you take care of them is not going to be the same. So what we have to learn to do a lot better is match the available resources that we have for feeding animals with the genetics that we're trying to manage. So essentially, it's like I always use the analogy of the big cow versus the small cow, right? The big cow will eat a lot. If you cannot afford to buy a lot of feed for your big cow, you should not have a big cow. And that's as simple as it gets, right? So we need now to be able to allow our producers to use the material that they have and feed and manage the genetics that they are capable of managing, not what they would like to, because we see it happen a lot. People want the big animals, yes, or they want bigger and they want better, but bigger is not always better. So the management system will change depending on the genetics. And the same goes for what you have available in your environment. Another thing that we need to talk about as well is how well do we balance our rations. And again, depending on what type of animal you have, what your production system is, no matter what it is, the rations have to be balanced. Now, we are in the process of trying to educate our farmers a lot better and let them know what resources that they have working with. Because not everybody has the same feeds, not everybody has the same grasses and all of that. But we need to be able to let our producers know what is the quality of the material that you're using, how well can you formulate it into a ration, and what else is needed to balance that ration. Because you can provide a ration, any old ration will not give you the production that you're looking for. You need to have it balanced. As is the case of silage production, seeing that this is a pilot project, at this time, there is no cost to the farmers in terms of the cost of moving the machine to their site and packing material for them. There is no cost at this point in time. Thankfully, we got a nice grant from JDDB and we're able to get the equipment and some bags, so we will pack in this initial phase, we'll pack for free. After that, we will look to see how the cost of the inputs, because the major input is the bags, but everything else is local. Everything else is local. So it is based on what the farmers have available in their local environment, on their farms, in their communities, within their cluster groups. wherever they are. We identify the resources and we find a way to formulate rations and pack it for them. Climate change has been a hot topic for some time now, and we have had many conferences, many meetings all over the Caribbean, etc., about the impact of climate change and what it does to our production system. And the farmers can tell you, they may not know exactly what the scientific reason is, but they are seeing the effects of the change in climate on their production. So, what is our job? Our job now is to understand how exactly are these interactions, the environment, the plants, the animal, how exactly are these interactions affecting the production system? We need to be able to quantify those impacts and say, well, okay, I understand that what the dry season does to our grasses. It's a little showed what exactly is happening inside the grass to the nutrients and all of these things, because we have to pay attention to these details, you know. So when we begin to appreciate and understand what the exact impact of all of this change in climate is, then we know what type of interventions we need. And that is why we speak today a lot about, and we are stressing it, conservation. In the times when we have plenty, conserve for when things get rough.